Time to run anyway. Can't cuss, so it's an ace.
I know you were saying some stuff earlier that you should not have been saying.
I'll whip it out.
You better.
Viewers like the Chewbacca sound.
What?
Viewers like the Chewbacca sound.
Do the Chewbacca sound. Entertain them while we're waiting.
20 seconds.
20 seconds right now?
Yeah.
How do you go from 2 minutes to 20 seconds? I don't know. Just take the screen off of us, and then we'll be in 10 seconds.
How do you go from 2.5 minutes to 20 seconds? Welcome to Actioncorp's first public beta. We're going to talk a little bit again about games, about movies, about computer stuff. We're going to eventually be able to interact with the audience a little, maybe. Audience of 4.
Audience of 4. That's right.
Audience of 3 right now.
3 right now, but in the future, millions.
We've lost a viewer.
Yeah.
We've lost 25% of the audience. First thing we're going to talk about tonight, biggest thread on our website, on the Actioncorp website, is the Jaguar, which is 10.2. Actually, that's right. Chris needs to talk more about this, so I'll let him talk.
Yeah. So basically, what we've got is just about
My bad.
On Monday of this week, Steve Jobs held a keynote at the Worldwide Developer Conference for Apple, and they got together and he showed a beta preview of the next version of OS X called 10.2, and 10.2 also codenamed Jaguar. Lots of really impressive features. People weren't really expecting 10.2 to be such a major upgrade over 10.1, but it's turning out to be pretty significant. Craig is showing a screenshot there. One of the things that OS 10.2 or Jaguar is going to include, for example, take a look at this. We've got the dock will now include minimized windows will now include a little icon badge along with every minimized window to show which application is currently, which application each window applies to when it's minimized. I mean, little features like that, and there's hundreds of them. All sorts of new features. QuickTime 6, a new feature called Quartz Extreme, which lets the 3D graphics card take over the compositing of the 2D graphics on the screen and basically speeds up the screen rendering to a place far beyond any computer today. I mean, it can do some really wild stuff with it. It's all piped through OpenGL. Really cool stuff. What else is new? And it's got a new version of, there we go. This is a screenshot from an included instant messaging app called iChat. It's an AOL compatible chat program, so I probably won't be using it. But it's pretty cool. It's got an OS X interface. It's really slick, kind of an iTunes meets AOL Instant Messenger, and it's included right in with the operating system now. So where Microsoft uses MSN Messenger, Apple computers in Mac OS X are now going to include this iChat, which is AOL. So that's kind of interesting.
Have you got to talk about Quartz Extreme and the stuff you can do with it?
Oh, yeah, I just did a second ago. Quartz Extreme.
But the graphics overlaying the top of it?
Oh, yeah. This
That's
is one of the neat things. One of the demos that they showed. One of the demos they showed at the keynote was they were able to take the OS X desktop and make 3D OpenGL objects appear to float over the top of the desktop. And because of the way this Quartz Extreme works, they had a DVD being played on the desktop, and the image of that DVD was being reflected in these reflective 3D objects floating over the screen. All this was happening in real time. And really powerful stuff. I really want to see that demo. Here's a picture of the new Finder. These are some of the applications included with Jaguar. You can see right there in the center of the screen the iChat icon. A new picture. Sherlock's been totally redone. New version of Mail included as well. All sorts of new version of iTunes as well, which doesn't add a whole lot of new features, but has this new technology called Rendezvous that basically lets computers locate each other automatically on the internet and share resources. So really cool stuff in OS 10.2 Jaguar.
Okay.
Next up, we're going to show you a little package I put together called the OS 10 Tip of the Show. I hope to be doing one of these every show or so, and it's basically tips on how to use OS 10. So, Craig, why don't you take it away, and we'll see what we can learn.
OS 10 users are already aware accessing your Apple iDisk is not exactly the fastest thing in the world. This may have something to do with the fact that the Finder is not yet fully threaded, but whatever the case may be, accessing the iDisk can be a real test of one's patience. Even trying to find out the contents of a folder can take several seconds, and don't get me started on how long it takes to transfer large files. Clearly, there's room for improvement when it comes to accessing your iDisk through the Finder. The news is, you don't have to use the Finder to access your iDisk. There are several solutions. Both of them, depending on the level of difficulty, are really fast. The simple route is to use a great shareware program called Goliath. Goliath is basically just a web dev client for OS X. Simply enter the appropriate information, your username and password, and you have quick, fast access to your iDisk. The second option is for more advanced users. One of the really cool aspects of the Unix underpinnings in OS X is that when you mount your iDisk, you're actually mounting an actual volume in the Unix file system. This means you can even access your iDisk right from the terminal. Just go to the volumes directory off the root of your OS X installation, do an ls, and you'll see the name of your iDisk listed. Go into that directory, and sure enough, all of the contents of your iDisk are available. Because the shell sees this as just another volume, you can apply any of the Unix commands to the files on your iDisk. For example, one way I use it is to update my iTools homepage. I simply open the homepage in Pico, add my changes to the file, and then when I write out to save the file, I'm actually updating the file live on my iDisk. This means that the new homepage is available immediately. Pretty cool, huh? And that concludes this week's OS X Tip of the Show.
Okay, there we are, the OS X Tip of the Show. Hopefully you learned a little bit about how the iDisk works and how you can take advantage of that so it's not so slow in the current version of OS X. We've got Sean with us right now, and Sean is our resident Xbox expert, and he's going to talk a little bit about some cool stuff going on in the world of Xbox mods. So take it over.
Well, first off, they're bringing out some Xbox mods that'll finally let us be able to run our own code, possibly a version of Linux on the Xbox. What you're seeing right now is a shot of the extender mod chip. That's what the actual chip is going to be. 29 solder points, 29 wires that you'll have to hook up in your Xbox. Solder points, what they're saying right now, is not going to be that bad. Hopefully they'll make an external version that might plug into a controller port. Right there are some of the solder points outlined in red for the extender chip. Not really available yet. It's going to be hard to get it past Microsoft. The guys are really rigging it up right now and trying to get it out in the underground channels, so we'll just have to see how it goes. But hopefully we'll get it out there and be modding our Xboxes and be able to play backups as well as...
Did you say that they had MP3 players and stuff?
Yes, they have an MP3 player up and running, and they're working on a web browser right now, as well as a workable version of Linux that will run on the Xbox itself. So we'll just have to see how that comes out, and hopefully they'll be able to get it by Microsoft and get it all out there to us.
What about is there? You talked about a web browser. What web browser is it? Like Mozilla? What is it? I mean, is it just something some guy wrote, or?
There actually are. Right now, it is totally custom. It's not based on any existing code, Mozilla, or anything else otherwise. So they are building it from the ground up, as they're doing most of the apps for the Xbox right now.
So that's pretty wild. So, and you said you talked about Linux being on there. What about a version of Windows? I mean, this is a Microsoft, the Xbox made by Microsoft. What's the chances of running Windows on this machine?
I think it's going to be pretty slim. Guys aren't really even trying because they're wanting to stay away from things that are that copyrighted and just stick to doing things that are open source like Linux, maybe FreeBSD.
I can see that.
A little something like that. So they're trying to get over their code that they can freely edit, which they don't have access to the Windows source code. So
how about MAME?
MAME is already running on a development system. And but they can't release it because it was made by an actual licensed developer, so he can't license his code out and give it out. So, but MAME is running. If it can get leaked out somehow, we'll have it on our Xbox. So
I think it will. If when you say it that way, it's almost certain like it's going to happen.
Exactly.
Okay. The next thing we want to talk about, kind of going right from Xbox into a game that will probably appear on the Xbox and on multiple consoles, a new game called Wolverine.
Yes, this is Wolverine Mutant Revenge, due out in the second quarter of 2003. These are the Xbox screenshots. It's going to be solely based around Wolverine and his origins of how he was made from Department H, the Mutant X origin that you see, Weapon X. There's going to be cameo appearances from Juggernaut, people like that. All of his old nemesis, Sabretooth's going to be in there. It's going to be combat style, first person, or actually third person from him, rather, throughout the game. Hack and slash with his claws and his mutant abilities, and hopefully we'll be looking for a good game, a good port to all 3 platforms. So we're really looking forward to it.
That's awesome. Well, I really appreciate Sean coming in and talking about that stuff. And sure, that's pretty cool. I had not heard anything. I usually keep up on video game stuff, and I hadn't heard anything about the Wolverine game. Of course, we're going to probably be showing some stuff real shortly here. Coming up right next is the Spider-Man package that was been put together by Seth. Of course, Seth is a mega huge Spider-Man fan. He's always been, ever since the comics. I mean, he's collected them forever. So when the Spider-Man game came out, he decided to put together a little package reviewing the game, and hopefully Craig's got that queued up, and we'll go ahead and take a look at that.
I have it queued up.
Go for it.
Roll it.
Roll it. Today.
Metaphor. That's that other guy.
For Nintendo GameCube.
Come on, move.
Sorry. Fans of the previous PlayStation Spider-Man game should feel very comfortable since developer Treyarch was once again drafted to create Spidey's adventures. First thing I noticed in playing the game was the huge difference in controlling Spidey. While web swinging, you can now control his altitude and turn while swinging, 2 actions not available in previous games. The visuals are also much more detailed than before, from the traffic on the streets below to the reflection of the city off the windows of buildings. Also standing out of the game was the voice acting. Tobey Maguire and Willem Dafoe lent their voices to the game, not just lines ripped from the movie, but new dialogue recorded specifically for the game.
You shouldn't be flying around at your age, Vulture. You'll hurt yourself.
In addition to the Green Goblin, 2 other longtime Spider villains make appearances, the Vulture and Shocker.
This one is coming down.
The biggest disappointment in the game is the lack of AI in every single enemy, from the street thugs right up to Gabi himself. They follow rigid patterns, never assess any situations around them, never regroup. They just mindlessly attack as they shout their one-liners containing circus freaks, the carnival in town, etc.
Circus in town?
A hidden feature in the game that can be unlocked is a costume that completely changes the mechanics of the game, from the pumpkin bombs to the glider. That's right, the Green Goblin himself. Well, sort of.
There's a new Green Goblin in town.
You play as Harry Osborn, who stole a glider and suit from his dad Norman to try to prove his innocence, then later find out the hard way he's guilty. Overall, I think anyone who appreciated the first 2 games would absolutely love this one. Any Johnny-come-latelys on the Spider-Man train who saw the movie and think this might be a fun game, rent it. It's not super long, super hard, or super innovative. It's just raw, web-slinging fun. This Spider fan gives Spider-Man the movie an 8 out of 10.
Time to bring down the lights.
That was kind of cool. Yeah, that was pretty good.
I like
nicely
it.
done.
Thank you. I enjoyed the game a lot. I don't know if I probably wouldn't have been the most fair reviewer of that game anyway, since I've got Spider-Man on the brain, but I thought it was really good. I liked how, it was very, very similar to the original ones that were based just on the comic books. I liked it. I would have liked it no matter what, though. So
It was definitely a significant improvement over the first one in almost every regard.
Oh yeah, visually it was much better. Gameplay, all they did was make improvements. It was just something that someone who's just going to pick up the game for one time to play it, I think they would get bored with it quickly. I have replayed the game probably 6 times, just making Spider-Man do funny looking things, which most people wouldn't care about. So that's my 2 cents on that. The movie's come out. It's made more money than any movie ever has in the history of Hollywood.
What an incredible movie.
It made $115 million, which is about 15 million more. Or it's about 25 million more than the current leader, which was Harry Potter. It made about 90 million its first weekend. And it opened on a Thursday, and they count when you're doing box office stuff, they count from Thursday to from whenever to Sunday.
That's right.
So Spider-Man opening on Friday had a day. Harry Potter basically had a day head start, and Spider-Man still kicked its butt.
Yeah.
So
Spider-Man, I got to see it. I was really looking forward to the movie personally, and I knew going in that it was going to be a pretty fun treat because Sam Raimi, he's a pretty fun director. You know, he's directed a lot of cult classic movies, so he's a good guy. You know, and special effects, of course, always looked really awesome. But I was really unprepared for just how good a movie it was. And I think one way when I walked out of the theater, the one way I felt was that it felt to me like the original Superman movie, just better. It was a lot like the Superman movie, just better.
It was a great superhero. It was a great comic book to superhero.
Yes.
Or comic book to movie interpretation. It was really
even
really
if it was a little different.
Right. Yeah.
Which I know gets on your nerves.
We'll get me on a tangent, and we probably need to move on anyway.
Okay.
Craig had the next topic he wanted to talk about an issue. Well, I'll just give it to him. He can take it away.
Thank you very much. Hello. And I just wanted to ask your guys' opinion on this stuff because I didn't get a lot of response on Actioncorp. CyberSquatting. One of my favorite Palm apps of all time is Datebook Plus. It's a really handy. It's an organizer just like your datebook and calendar stuff, but it's a step above that. One guy has written it for the last like 3 or 4 years, and he's like a one-man army making this really cool program. He only does the program, so the money he makes off of it he can donate to this animal shelter. They take care of gorillas or something. He donates it to a bunch of different places. And his other company called, did anybody see that name and know how to say it? Islamic.
Pop it up.
I will in here in a second. I can't talk and do that at the same time.
Okay.
It actually, they took that, and the name of the program is Datebook, and they registered Datebook 4 and Datebook 5. .com, and actually pointed it to their calendar application, and it made me mad. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's certainly not the first time it's happened, but I mean, yeah, I would be upset if somebody would go and try to snoop my business that way.
Can you think of any other examples? I was trying to think of some before the show started.
I know it's happened. I don't know. It is hard to think of examples.
Guy tried to buy Coke.com, or he actually beat Coca-Cola to Coke.com and tried to charge them. I mean, an unheard of amount, and Coke took him to court.
You guys hear the one about the MyPalm guy? They had the MyPalm, and then Palm went and stole his website, and then they argued about it for a long time, and basically let him keep his email address, which is the only thing he bought it for anyway, and really didn't give him much money for it, and used it for their whole portal, which they ended up closing down a year later anyway.
That's a little different, though. I mean, when I think of cybersquatting, I think of people who go out and register names that they think are going to be hot and then try to sell them for buku's amount of money. That's what I think of when I think of cybersquatting. That is a little different, though. That's more like a guy went and he registered a domain that sort of has a trademark in it, and then the company that owns the trademark came back and said, hey, we need that. And then so there was a compromise made.
The cool thing, and just to sum this part up, which I thought was really, really neat, was a lot of people got upset. A lot of people went to their website, got banned left and right.
I mean, we'll talk random.
Yeah, we're fine. Well, because we don't have IFBs, I can just hear both of you talking. The Palm community stood up and was really upset about this, and actually they ended up giving the domain names back to them. So.
Well, the fact that he wasn't making any money off of it, and it wasn't like a profit kind of thing, is probably the most offensive thing about what this company did. I mean, they're screwing this guy who's not really making any money to try to make their own money. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crazy. Well, that's just another one of those things. Cybersquatting. I mean, I hate it.
It will always happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Craig, give us just throw a couple of topics at us from Actioncorp.
Yeah. You don't have to bring the website up on the screen or anything, but just
you can if you want.
You can if you want, but I mean, give us something to talk about here. We're how many more minutes do we think we got?
17.
Yeah, we went a little light.
Really went a little light, huh?
Well, Craig started early. We're not 17 minutes short. We're more like.
We started at 8:45.
Yeah. No, we didn't. We started at 8:42 on this clock.
Well, yeah, but 8:45 on my clock.
Yeah. Okay.
Here you go. Tony Hawk, that was funny.
Yeah, you can pop those up.
Yeah,
pop those screenshots up.
Let me do a brief explanation here. This is, by the way, this is our message board. It's just a group of friends that we all get together on. We post the coolest things we think, and the stuff we get on this board is going to be typically the stuff we're going to show on our show. So here's a post on Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 for Xbox. I think it was the Xbox version.
Yes, Wizard
posted it. Was playing it, and of course, one of the unlockable characters. If you can see, Craig, you're gonna have to move the picture there and then just hold it still for a moment. Hopefully, they'll get it on the screen. But you can see that he is playing Darth Maul.
He's got
in a
this
skateboarding game.
double-edged saber.
Just leave it there for a second, Craig. You gotta give it a second to catch.
I understand.
The first two Tony Hawks, the secret character was Spider-Man, and since Treyarch was developing the game for the movie, they didn't have time to lend a model, so the Tony Hawk people did this one.
That's pretty cool. So yeah, Darth Maul, playable character. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I don't know if you could do anything with the sword or not.
No,
we're gonna talk to Wizard about that.
I mean, it's not like Green Goblin and Spider-Man, where the whole game changes.
That was amazing. That was probably the
Jesus
best
Christ,
feature.
we forgot something major.
We did.
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Nothing. We don't. Okay.
Well, okay, thank you.
Would you like to know what it is?
Yeah, I guess.
Sure, why not?
Hit the Mad Cats.
What, the game?
Yes.
Oh, we want to show that? I guess we can show that. We've got time.
Yeah, we.
We're not going to talk about the coolest game we've seen in the last month
okay,
on
let's do that.
Actioncorp.
Let's go ahead and cut over.
We are now going to.
We are going to talk about a very cool game.
Let's don't go straight to gameplay. Don't worry about the intro.
Yeah, don't cut
You need to
this
put your
yet.
memory card in there, too.
We're going to...
Oh, no, you're not.
I don't have it with me.
Yeah, we're not doing memory.
So, intro it, somebody.
Should we want to go
I'll do it while you're doing it. This is Resident Evil for the Nintendo GameCube. It was released, I guess, last Tuesday. It is unbelievably amazing. The backgrounds are pre-rendered with a layer of invisible polygons, so light, things like that can still affect. It looks like things are affecting it. The characters are done in real time. It's by far the most powerful visual game I've ever seen. Gameplay
There are
I'm
only
pretty
3 stars
somewhat
members
familiar
left
with.
now. Captain
The
Wesker,
game's starting
Barry,
now, so we'll
and
just take a look at
myself.
it. Oh, we already are
We
taking
don't
a
know
look
where
at it.
Chris is.
What is this place?
Now, this is not
Not quite your
pre-rendered.
ordinary house.
That's right.
for
Right,
sure.
this is running real time. Well, the background's
Hey,
pre-rendered.
Whisker.
Yeah, the
where's
characters,
Chris?
incredible models on these characters.
Jill, no.
They are all done in real time. All
You
the
don't wanna go
characters
back out
in the
there.
game, some objects in the game, all real time. Texturing, the
What was
number
that?
of polys that are being pushed right now are incredible.
The
Chris,
voice acting is
No.
completely superior to
Jill,
the
go
PlayStation
and
version.
investigate.
There's
I'm
one
going
line, I don't know if we're going to come across it or not, about
Chris and
some
I go back
lockpick
a
that
long way.
Yeah.
I'm sure anybody who's played the original
Alright.
game will remember the
go.
master of
Secure the
master of unlocking. That quote.
They fixed
They
that.
rewrote it. Yeah. There are some very big very big like game differences. Things like if you were trying to open the front door in the game, the front door of the mansion, it wouldn't let you say it's a bad idea, whatever.
Yeah.
If you try to do it now on the GameCube version, it will let one of the dogs into the mansion and run around and just attack
And
you.
I died that way, just trying it. I thought, no, the dogs aren't going to come in, and sure enough. Okay, now I'm actually playing. I'm going to be in the game, and you're going to see me walking around. The control scheme's a little different than what I used to, so give me a moment to
Switch it up for you.
No, it's all right. And I'm going to run down this hall here. It's crazy. I mean, light shines in through the windows and reflects off everything.
I think you'd better take a look at
This
this.
is,
What is
they
it?
find the first body. Well, it's blood from the body.
What?
This has nothing to do with the movie, by the way.
Jill,
I mean, the movie was loosely based
See
on
if
the
you can
series
find any
of
other
games,
clues.
Resident Evil. But
the
this
examiner.
is really a different story. This is the original story.
Chris's.
Well, the movie was loosely based on the original story, but it was just so very loosely based.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. And none of the characters.
I'm going to walk in
match
this
up.
door over here, and we're going to see our first zombie in the game. And it's going to be
Seth doing nothing.
Right, exactly. That was a poor switch.
Yeah, turn on. Here we go. This is, by the way, every time you see a door open like this is kind of like a loading screen saying you're entering a new area. Okay. Look at that light there is casting a shadow, and it's just unbelievable how beautiful it is. Okay, I'm going to slowly walk down this hall, right around the corner here, and there should be a nice little guy waiting.
The door is unloaded. This, done in real time, looks better than the PlayStation's pre-rendered one. This is an infamous scene from the first Resident Evil.
Hello. Okay. I got a big bad zombie on me right here, so I'm going to back up just a bit. Hopefully I can get to you where you can see me.
Another gameplay feature that they added was a defense weapon. It's a secondary weapon that you have that if you're attacked, you can either set it to manual or automatic, and it will, if a zombie were to attack you and start biting, like this, the secondary weapon would kick in. He doesn't have any yet, so it wouldn't. It's just going to push. But there are a couple different ones. There's the dagger, which you'd stick into the zombie's head, and that kind of backs them off and stuns them. Or there's a taser you can get later that actually just zaps
now I'm
the
hurting.
crap out of
She's
them.
like grabbing her stomach. She's been bitten a few times, so now she's kind of hurting. Hopefully I can take this guy out this time. There we go.
Shoot down. Shoot down. Keep shooting.
I'm working on it.
There you go. Now
I
you
got
go.
it. So now you'll see me as I walk. I've been affected by the game, so now I kind of do this kind of half limp down the hallway, depending on the amount of life I have. Just unbelievable attention to detail in this game. Just phenomenal. Just phenomenal.
Chris still really hasn't mastered the destroying the zombie completely maneuver.
Yeah, I tend to like kill it halfway and then run.
With blood's coming out, that means it's dead.
Right.
If not, it's going to come up and
It's
bite
going
you
to
in
come
the butt.
do it again. Exactly.
Let me run down this hallway here. I can kind of scoot basically because I'm still hurt. So, go back out this door here. There's another cut sequence we can watch if we want. Just beautiful game. I mean, I don't think there's been a game with character models this, and they can get away with it because the background is rendered.
Right. Yeah, they're saving a lot of resource by.
Let me take care of it.
Saving a lot of CPU time by pre-rendering these.
Yeah. They can, they've got all those extra polygons, just put them in the character.
Exactly. I mean, even things like, as far as maybe gameplay, something like Shenmue would surpass this, but there was no way visually that it could even come close.
Right.
Shenmue just has so much going on at one time. But like these models are better than I've ever seen in a video game.
Yeah. These environments, I mean, they obviously labored a long time to create these even these pre-rendered scenes look like they put a lot of love into them.
Oh yeah, they were, and the programmers were really excited to do this. They at Capcom, this was kind of the elite of their game programmers that got to do this when they announced the project.
There's another really cool cutscene here. Let's watch this for a moment.
Lester! Jill, help me look for him. Let's not leave this hall.
Good idea.
This is early in the game, so basically you have to take some time. And basically the game is set up, so obviously it gets harder as you go along. But in this sequence here, it's basically trying to familiarize yourself with the lobby of this huge mansion that you're stuck in. So I can walk around. Whoa, control scheme is not what I'm used to. Sorry. So I can walk around and.
You can kind of make her look like a drunk idiot.
Yeah, basically. Especially she's like grasping her stomach like she's going to puke.
Running into rails and walls.
Oh, and you will never see this on the streaming video. It's just too detailed. But as I walk past this glass, I actually reflect in the glass. Just unbelievable how. I mean, it's like they didn't have to do that, but they did. Music's very mood, and music also changes with the mood. As something bad's about to happen, you can sort of sense it just in the mood of the music. I'm sorry, I'm doing so bad. This is not the control scheme I'm used to. Switch it. No, that's alright. Here's another little scene here.
There.
Okay.
Any luck, Jill?
All right.
Nothing.
So there you
What's
go.
going on around here? I can't figure it out.
Incredibly cool game.
Same
If
here.
you have a GameCube, I highly recommend it. Even players of the original game would like this because they would. The game's been changed a certain level amount. I mean, items are not in the same places that they were in the original game. Even rooms are different, and then whether they're locked or unlocked or what it takes to get into them. I mean, all sorts of really wild stuff.
I have a couple of people that had questions for the
Okay,
website.
let's
And
take
if
it.
anybody else has questions or anything, since we're not going to end the show exactly on time because nobody
Question,
really
please.
cares.
Yeah, let's
If you email tv@actioncorp.net, we'll be able to see the questions or comments, or if you hate it, or if you love it, or if you realize we don't know what we're
Yeah,
doing.
we definitely
That's
want
fine.
feedback. So if you've been watching, send us email feedback tv@actioncorp.net.
Okay. First question. Dustin asks, where is this being hosted and who's watching it? How many? I can tell you who's watching. There's been 4 people watching. But let's talk about some of our setups and definitely thank a couple people.
Well, Craig, you could probably answer that better than anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm getting some other things from
Okay,
this.
that's fine.
That was called a hint for Chris to talk. So I can
Okay,
do some stuff.
switch back to me, Craig. Who's watching? We just told a few friends. This is our public beta, was what we called it, but really only not really public. It's really just only asked our friends to watch the stream and to give us feedback. I think maybe next week, if not next week, then the week after that, we will actually do our first public show where we go out and try to advertise the show. And by advertise, I mean literally just go into a few message boards and say, hey, what's our show? You know, that'd be about it. We're also going to try to work on getting this on public access because SIGACOM offers public access here in Evansville. So where is this being done? This show is being done in Craig's garage. Craig, switch to the poo cam. If you can. There we are. As you can see, it's not quite as elaborate when you see it from this angle. This is Craig's garage door behind us. We've got a TV monitor for your viewing. We've got 3 camcorders set up, center, 2 other shots, and then we've got 2 monitors here that we can use. Seth's going to kind of move the camera around here. He's going to have to hold still because it's going to be hard. Here, just hold very still, and you can see the
Don't move too fast.
Yeah, kind of go slow there. You can see this is the side of the garage, all Craig's old stuff packed up here, and we've got this tarp, and it's pretty crude setup, but it's cool. You know, for what we've got going on. The board Craig's using to mix, and you'll see this in the credit sequence at the end of the show, which we're coming up on.
Light
is a Videonics MX1, really cool. We've got basically just bulbs out here that we are soft glowing with pieces of paper. Craig is actually in 2 rooms away in the house. We've run cords underneath the house from the garage, and they're all plugged into, and all the mixing is done in that room where Craig is. And you can see behind Craig is the flat panel iMac, which is actually recording the show. There's the rest of Craig's room back there, and this very 8-bit collection of stuff. I can't. Oh my gosh, this is a scary shot. Okay, here's the mixing.
This is like the open of Alf.
Yeah, we're about to you can see I'm actually affecting the mixer. You can see the needle point. Okay, there's the audio mixer, Craig. There's no way this is being transmitted on the internet. It's moving too much. But okay, there's the MX1.
Actually, it looks pretty good.
All right. There's the MX1 mixer. Craig's got a PC in front of him that he can queue up graphics on. There's another computer over there that's doing the encoding of the actual, and that's being sent up to Synergy Communications, who I work for, and was gracious enough to allow me a little bit of bandwidth once every month or once every couple weeks to do this stream live. And then back behind Craig, if you can, there's the DV bridge that converts the analog signal to DV, and then of course right into DV and then into iMovie. We're archiving these episodes so that we can broadcast them on SIGACOM. And now you ask, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this?
Why are we doing this?
Why are we doing? Because we think it's cool, I guess, basically.
We wanted to do it. The setup it was just really fun to do the setup, to set up the cameras, get the switcher, get the audio, just get everything working together. It was just really fun.
Yeah, and we knew it was within our power to be able to make our own TV show, and it was just a matter of saying, yeah, we can do it, so let's just do it. So that's basically it. Was there another question?
No more questions.
Okay, that was our only question for the night.
We'll get feedback later.
We'll get feedback, and we'll also hopefully and maybe eventually be able to set up a live chat room so that people can communicate us while the show's live. So that'll be kind of cool. All right,
think that's it.
I think that's it.
I can't think of anything. Thanks for watching Actioncorp this week. We'll see. Hopefully next week at this time, probably at 8
on time.
On time.
We're going to have a lot more variables that are going to be kind of loose ends tied up, so everything should be a little bit smoother, a little bit timed out better, that kind of thing. So thanks for joining us, and we hope to hear from you.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.
It's done. Thank you.